Fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Sometimes it's just to not curse somebody out. Simple goals, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress.
People go to jobs that they hate, 87% of Americans, and guess what? And they pray they don't get fired. That's no way to live. That's why you're here. You just said, you know what? No, I ain't going out like this. You know, I'm telling you. And people think you're crazy, and you are. You got to be crazy today. You got to be out of your mind. My favorite book said, let that mind be in you. You got to have another mind in you that says, I got this. This is my life. I own this. I'm going to call the shots here. Nobody's going to tell me how much I'm worth, what time I can take a lunch break. I'm not going to anybody and ask for permission to take my family on vacation. No, I got this. The reason you're here, the reason you invested your money, your time and energy and transportation and the room and all the costs in a so-called tough economy, because you have the mindset of a billionaire. You know, investing in yourself, you are your most treasured asset. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, bring energy level up. So he said, Mr. Brown, I've done all that I can do for you. You've got to go out and face the music. You go with the things I've taught you and make it happen. I went to WMBM radio station on Miami Beach. Milton Butterball Smith is the program director. Hello, Mr. Butterball. My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. He said, young man, you have any journalism in your background? No, sir, I don't. You have any experience in broadcasting? No, sir, I don't, but I practice every day. Let me audition for you. Let me show you how good I am. He says, no, we don't have any job for you. How many have been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated with rejection. I went back to Mr. Washington. I said, Mr. Washington. They said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry Go back again. I said, yes, sir. I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. Don't want to laid off or fired. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was singing for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? I said, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. He said, no one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now don't you come back here again. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was singing for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you? He looked at me with rage. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. My favorite book said, the greatest among you will be your servant. So I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I was serving them. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd come into the control room, watch them working the control room knobs and switches, knowing my time will come. Let us say together, my time will come, when I'll be a top producer, and when I'll come up on stage and they call my name because of my accomplishment. My time will come because I'm going to put forth the effort. And so on the weekends when the disc jockeys would come out to the parking lot, the cars would be clean inside out. They said, hey, who did this? I did, sir. How much do you charge, young man? Oh, nothing, sir. I just wanted to help out. Write this down. Build relationships. Build relationships. Give before you ask people to come into your business. Find some way to compliment them. Talk to them, ask them questions. Find out what's important to them, what's stressing them out, what keeps them up at night, what drives them, what they value. Don't advance with the business. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. That's why you want to tell the story and ask key questions. You want to be strategic and experiential. Write this down. You have an energy signature. People are feeling you out. They're listening to you. They're watching you. And so, they said, look, here are my car keys, young man. Dinah Ross and the Supremes are coming to town, the Four Tops and the Temptations. I want you to pick them up at the airport and take them to the Fontainebleau Hotel on Miami Beach. It is my pleasure to serve you, sir. I would drive these entertainers all over Miami Beach in the disc jockeys' big long Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I'd drive it like I had some. Then one day, it's a Saturday afternoon, a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. Rockin' Roger got so drunk, he could not complete the show. He began to slur his words. He's about to fall off the chair. It's a Saturday afternoon, and I was the only one there, looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd have gone and get him some more if he'd asked me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was a general manager. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Clyde. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish the program. I said, I know. He said, will you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up and said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called my mama and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch, turn up the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records, but don't you say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get old Rock out of the way. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P. Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle. Certified, bona fide, duly qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. Give the old man a round of applause. I was hungry. I was hungry. I was hungry. You gotta be hungry. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, you gotta be hungry. Do that right now. Shake somebody else's hand. Say, you gotta be hungry. People that are hungry believe if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. People that are hungry believe what Zig said when he said, if you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. People that are hungry believe always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry are uncommon people. They say yes to their dreams. They say yes to an opportunity where they can develop their entrepreneurial skills, where they can develop their mind and their leadership skills, where they can become versatile and flexible and create and build a business they can be proud of. People that are hungry have a vision of themselves when they leave here, leaving a legacy and not liabilities. People that are hungry understand that most people die at age 25 and don't get buried till they're 65 because they're not willing to take a chance on themselves. People that are hungry are a rare breed. They're risk takers. I don't know what you want to do. Seemed like yesterday when I was the new kid on the block. Now it's 68. I'm the old timer. I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 68, I feel like I served at the Lord's Supper. And I know I look young for 68 because I used mascara to cover my gray hair. I was over there asking Marie, I said, Marina, can you have any of this mascara? She said, oh, you look just fine. My kid said, Daddy, you look distinguished with your gray hair. I said, 68, I'm not trying to look distinguished. I'm trying to look young. I got to tell you this story. Don't tell anybody, please. I gave this speech at the Georgia Dome. And after I finished, it's called It's Not Over Till I Win. And after I finished, somebody came back and said, Mr. Brown, I know you're tired, and our speaker canceled. Do you have enough energy to do another program? I said, no, I'm tired. He said, we can pay your full fee of $25,000. I said, the Lord is able. So they took me over to the Georgia World Congress Center. And it was an intimate setting. People were very close to the stage. So I looked in the room, and then I went in the restroom and got my little Mademoiselle mascara out to cover my grain, you know, have a mustache and everything. So I came in the room. The lady wanted everybody to know that she knew me. So she said, there he is, Les Brown. I came up on the stage. She holds her cheek out for me to kiss it. I kissed her on the cheek and left this big black smudge on her face. I said, oh, my God. So I didn't know what to do, so I just sat down. So the people down front started saying, there's something on your face. She looks at me. She said, what are they saying? I said, I don't know. Then one nosy lady went over there, opened up her pocketbook, and gave her a mirror. Now, nobody asked her to do that. Getting in the Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor. She looks and see the big black smudge on her face. She said, how did this get here? I said, I don't know. You think maybe some of this rubs off? Well, the reason I'm telling you this, don't worry if I kiss you today, because Marie said, you don't need it. You'll be just fine. You look distinguished. Whatever. How many of you like to learn how to improve your presentation skills? Raise your hand. We're going to do a webinar that will walk you through a process and teach you how to tell your story, so you can speak in your community on a volunteer basis and be able to make a difference. How many of you like to make a difference with your story? Raise your hands. Very good. We will show you how to do this. I've been doing this now for 40 years. I love and admire Eric Worre for who he is, me as a friend, but the passion that he has in giving you the tools that you need, not just the mindset, but the skill set of what it takes to build a strong multi-level marketing business. I can tell you, based upon my experience, and he's not paying me to be here. He's got a blue light special going on up in here. This is my friend that I love him. There are a few people who can call me, and I'll get on a flight and only had 4 hours of sleep to come in and speak. I was very subdued and conservative today, but I love and admire him. I'd like to leave this with you. After leaving Zig's memorial yesterday, who was a great man, who contributed so much to so many people, I said, God, let me touch and change millions of people's lives like Zig has done. Let me make my mark like he made an incredible mark. Let me touch hearts and minds like he touched me when I first saw him. And I drove many miles, 400 and 500 miles, to see him and Jim Rohn and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Charlie Tremendous Jones. Let me be an instrument to give people hope, to inspire them to expand their skill set, to encourage them to create collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. God, let me live a life that counts, that means something to people. God, help me to be able to inspire people like Mr. Washington inspired me, like Mike Williams, my mentor for the past 43 years, who saw something in me I could not see in myself, who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself.